Today on the Brew, Tesla stock is down 34% so far this year. What has gone wrong? Let's chat with Paulina and Molly and dig into it deeper on that opening bell. Hello, happy Friday.
Hey.
Okay, this is a conspiracy. You guys are both wearing black today.
I know, both t-shirts too.
I'm not getting a girl. No girl power email to Lex. I get it. I see how it works.
Yeah, we're telepathy.
Got it. All right. So today, Paulina, we're going to go down Tesla lane here, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to add personal first-hand knowledge on this one. Ooh, sort of. Okay, so setting things up, you're telling us that, the stock is down, I think for, what is it, year to date, like 30%, 31%, thereabouts. EV market in general is kind of taking it a little bit on the chin, right? Tesla seemed to have had weathered that pretty well, though. Things of late are looking a little dicey. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so Tesla stock has been suffering so far this year. Like you said, it's down roughly 34% year to date so far. And there are a few catalysts as to why the stock has tumbled so much. And first and foremost, it's competition from China. Mm-hmm. And actually, we had this conversation a few weeks ago when we were talking about Chinese competitor BYD and how they've been just an explosive competitor throughout China and Europe, and how they're interested in coming into the US as well. So that's number one. And number two is in the broader market, softening EV demand in the US. And those two macro pressures have caused Tesla to reduce its prices in order to spur demand. And all of that has been putting a lot of pressure on the company's revenues and earnings. So I thought we'd break those two buckets down a little further. Mm-hmm. And so Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, obviously, he was talking about in the last earnings call how Chinese competitors are going to demolish all other car companies around the world. Specifically, he pointed to China's BYD and how they're announcing plans to launch their first electric pickup truck this year. Mm-hmm. to compete with Tesla's Cybertruck. And the Chinese EV makers have been really, really adept in competing on price and sales. So that's been eating at the global market share in the EV space. So that's kind of the first leg of issue that Tesla is dealing with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Molly, do you have a Tesla?
I do have a Tesla. I love my car.
You do?
Yeah, I'm such I Formula One racing and my car are some of my enjoyments.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Wow. Yeah, so I have a Tesla too, and I love it as well. But you mentioned this. Let's go to number two first. Softening EV demand in the U.S. What's behind that? Besides, the obvious thing that I'm thinking of is the price of these things, number one. And the ability for these things to go endlessly without needing a charge. So it seems like Americans need to have that refueling capability at their fingertips, right? Whether it's plugged into an outlet or going to the gas station, one or the other, right? So is that what some of the problem is? Not to mention the expense of it, right? I guess that's foremost, right?
Absolutely. The fact that we don't have a infrastructure that's properly built out in order to address EV charging is a huge factor that is weighing on consumers. In addition to that, I would also point to the health of the consumer and how they may not be able to afford a new car purchase right now. They're trying to deal with the extra tax of inflation and all that mess there. But to your point, when we look at EV deliveries for the first quarter at Tesla, they significantly missed estimates. So they reported their first quarter deliveries last week on April 2nd, and they reported 386,000 deliveries versus what the street was expecting of 443,000. And Wall Street just, really responded negatively there. One of the top analysts that covers Tesla on Wall Street, Dan Ives of Wedbush, he said that, we view this as a seminal moment, quote unquote, he said, and that Tesla really needs to turn around this Q1 performance. Otherwise, there are darker days ahead. So the narrative right now with Tesla stock is really downbeat. There has been some downgrades as well. So investor sentiment is really poor right now.
So I know we're not giving investment advice, but would you be considered bearish on this as well? Do you think? I'm not sure where I fall yet on this one. I got to think about this one.
I am bullish. I mean, I'm bullish.
You're bullish.
I'm fundamentals. So
you're going straight out, going right to the bull camp.
I am. So I'm going to give this horns. What was this? What was the floor symbol? What was it? What was that floor symbol?
That was from Merrill Lynch.
Oh, Merrill Lynch. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I think that one thing about missing the delivery target we have to see is that they were, and by the way, I have Max. So Max lives and breathes Tesla news, and he's always telling me. So this is really incredible stuff he's been telling me lately. But there's a couple things to point out, which is they have the exoskeleton for the Cybertruck. Lex just looked at one yesterday, correct?
Well, 2 days ago, yeah.
2 days ago. So we see them
3 days ago, but yeah. Anyway,
right.
Sorry.
So they've arrived in Los Angeles. We see them everywhere. They're amazing. Exoskeleton is different than the normal chassis in a car, which is internal. This is going to be external. So there's a couple benefits that it's more durable. It's stronger because it's sort of one piece, so the stress is distributed evenly. What the point of that is that, I mean, there's a couple downsides where it might be hard to fix, but I don't see much. It actually is lighter. So although they're using stainless steel, they're using thinner panels. So that can decrease the weight of a truck. But to start to migrate, and that new car coming out that's going to be in the 20K range, they're also going to be using an exoskeleton for that. And they're starting to redesign how they produce these cars. So anytime you have a complete reboot, you're going to slow down on delivery. So the fundamentals are there. They're going to, I think there's going to be massive improvements on the economies of scale. When they go to produce the exoskeleton of these cars, there's probably going to be less repairs, which will counterbalance what you were saying, Paulina, with the interest rates, interest rate rising, and which means a year ago you would buy one car. Now it's double the payment for the same car. And then with inflation costs and all the pressures. So I think the fundamentals there. They also had that arson debacle in Germany, and it was a far left group called the Volcano Group. And so Germany's looking into that right now, but they set them back a week. So that had some contribution. But when you look at the fundamentals there, and then you also have to start to look at this thing. Is it a car company? Because it sure looks like a tech company, a budding tech company. They have this underlying artificial intelligence that has its billions of miles of data capture, well ahead of anyone, So there's going to be licensing revenue streams. There's also, as people start to bring on full self-driving FSD, there's not a lot of overhead to scale that. It's just a selection on your car. So I think that's equally amazing. And and then I don't know, is it an energy company? So that infrastructure of the charging stations that people are starting to license out now, they might become the utility to the infrastructures and software that these other car companies like BYD will be using. So I think there's a lot of benefits to be bullish, is my opinion.
So Paulina, you want to knock her off that bull tree? Just cut that bull tree down. You want to cut that bull tree down?
Right.
Maybe a little bit. So
a little bit.
Well, I think that it's really important as a long-term investor to be forward looking, just as Molly said, and pay more attention to the fundamentals of the
Mhm.
company, rather than having this short-term view. Right now, though, Tesla stock does appear to not be in favor. Like I said, it did receive some downgrades from Wall Street. Not
Right.
that we should, use Wall Street as a benchmark, but it's possible that the stock has further room to fall, at least in the short term, because a lot of the people on the street, they're anticipating slower growth ahead, for the rest of this year and next year. I think investors kind of need to gauge when the EV market is set for a recovery to know or have an idea as to when to trade. I just think the situation is a bit uncertain right now, since there's a lot of macro issues that are weighing on U.S. demand. And once those challenges normalize a bit, I think that's when we'll start to see investor sentiment improve and maybe see the stock price improve as well.
I mean, I think that's a really good point. I mean, there is pressure in the EV market, and the thing I see amongst other EV, they don't have, that side hustle that they can go jump to. They can't reposition their revenue, so they have there's potential for those licensing agreements that they can start to push out. Also, their margins are amazing. We should just mention that. So Tesla's margins are like 15%, where other cars are around, below 10. But let's just CT it. So I'm really against anyone being demonized for just doing a good job. I just can't stand that. And so, I drive the car, it's really good. And I've driven across the country with it. It's, there's amazing stops along the way. So I enjoy it. But is there, we have Starlink, we have the electrical infrastructure, we have the artificial intelligence that is using vision. So that's totally different. It's teaching itself with vision. So, and then we have, the EV, according to the EV market. So there's a lot of, and then SpaceX. So there's a lot of centralization there. So I'm just being devil's advocate here about, but again, if someone's doing a great job, I just really want to support them. So but I'm, always, eyes are always out. What do you think about that, you guys?
Well, let me get it on Girl Power Hour here. So, without my black outfit on, it's blue. So Molly, you mentioned something earlier. I think maybe you did too, Paulina. I kind of think that Elon has an end around play here. And I think it probably has to do with technology. That's broad. I get it. But don't forget, he has a new project coming called Robotaxi, right?
Yes.
And that's another technology project, a self-driving project, right? I think his play might be I think the car might be, I don't want to say a loss leader, because I don't think it's necessarily a loss, but it might be the carrot out there to get people into the technology, infrastructure that he's trying to build.
Right.
He already started charging for the premium subscription. It's $9.99. Doesn't sound like a lot, but neither does the small fee per year at Costco. That's where they make all their money, right? So you just keep piling those sort of things on. What I understand about full self-driving, now I just got it on my car a week or so ago, maybe for April 1st, I think it was, whenever it was. I've used it a lot.
And this is version 12.3. Is that correct?
I don't know. It's version, the only one I'm scared to death to try, because when it makes a left turn into traffic, I'm petrified. But it does a great job. But he gave that to everybody, right? So meaning my car, I did not sign up for full self-driving to begin with. It was like $6,000 for enhanced and then $12,000 for the full deal. I'm like, this thing sucks. I can't use it the way I want to. This version he gave us for free for a trial, smart as can be, right? I get to try it for 30 days. It's outstanding. I got to tell you, I've used it almost every single day I've had it. Part of it is, the party trick part of it. But it's amazing. And I can just see where this is going. He is going to have these taxis doing this service ultimately, right? He's going to get there. Now, all of a sudden, that's another added revenue. He doesn't have to really sell a car per se there. He has to sell a service that is all technology based. So I just think he's genius. I never want to count him out or down on this thing. You know, and you guys said some other things. Full self-driving technology, the robo-taxi, the energy project. Does he ever go hybrid? I think that's probably sacrilege to him. He probably never goes there, but who knows? I think he's just going to keep piling it on. I really do. I think I'm probably more bullish than not on this one. Not necessarily, you know, short term per se, but over the haul. I think he's gonna figure it out. Sorry, I went on and on. But let's let Paulina talk. She's got to go.
Yeah, Pauline, what do you think?
Yeah, I think ultimately EVs are the future. Right now, it's in a difficult period. A lot of the legacy automakers like GM and Ford, who are trying to continue to break into the EV space, they're scaling back their EV investments and focusing more on hybrids. But that doesn't mean that they're abandoning their EV strategy. They're just kind of reorienting themselves based off of the environment right now. But ultimately, EVs are the future, and you need to be in that space in order to compete in the auto industry. And obviously, Tesla is the leader in that. So, and to your point where Elon Musk is diversifying his revenue sources, that's only a positive as well. And of course, he is just such a forward thinking leader, which, you know, is incredible. So I would say over time, it's fair to say to be bullish on the company.
Yeah, I agree with that. Molly, did you have something else on the tech piece? I thought you were going to say something.
I always do. I have to. It's a challenge to
okay. Just realize that Paulina has 1 minute left. Okay, with us.
I know.
Go ahead.
No, there's plenty. I just think it's being mislabeled as a car company. So I agree with that. Yeah, I really do believe that. I think that's the main point to really take home with this. And Earth is probably just a sandbox to take toys interstellar. You know, he's probably not even thinking about the SEC attacks and everything that he has to put up with. He's just going, okay, what are we taking to Mars? And then what are we going to how are we doing the next stage? Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Very good. So I think, you know, we're all sort of bullish. Maybe Paulina not as much as Molly and me, but, you know.
In the short term, I think we need to frame that.
Okay.
I will say this, though. I do keep in my garage a full analog car. I do a truck, a 4Runner, a 1996 4Runner. We call her Dagny. She's in there just in case.
But that's interesting. One last point here. Yeah. Most people who have a Tesla or an EV have a gas-powered car as well. The second car is a gas-powered car, just in case of the unwanted road trip. I'm not a big road trip.
And I think less gas powered and more that needs a key to unlock it and key to turn it. And there's no electrical devices.
That's right.
You know, who knows?
That's right. Yeah. All right. Let's let Paulina go do her real thing here with all the big people. We're just little people.
Oh, I know.
So Paulina, thank you very much.
You're a real news being.
That's right. Thanks very much for that. Say hi to Jim, by the way. Tell him
just to interrupt. So please tell us where we can find all of your articles. What is just give us a little snippet. Where do you live in the digital
This is called Promo Minute. So go for it.
Sure.
Oh, really? I mean, you have great articles. So it's really good to know where you go.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm with Jim Cramer's Investing Club. You can go on cnbc.com/Paulina Lykos to find all of my articles. And I have within the portfolio, which is, I think it's around 34, 33 companies. It's an evolving portfolio. And I cover a portion of those across, autos, obviously, consumer discretionary, tech, and just a bunch of different companies. So that's where you can find my articles.
All right, and follow Paulina on x.com. Another item of Elon's. So what is your tag on x.com?
It's Paulina_Lykos, I think.
All right, we'll put that in the banner on the bottom. We'll take care of it. Very cool. All right, Paulina, great. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy your weekend. Should be awesome, I think. At least the weather's getting better here, so that's good. And we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.
All right. Bye, Paulina. See you. Oh, hi, Molly.
So yeah, so what do you think about that? So Elon
Um,
has freedom of
yeah,
speech over there on X.com. He has
eh,
electrical, he has
he's
AI, he has cars. What
he's
else?
got it all. He's got it all. I like it.
Spaceships.
Yeah, look, it's a typical reaction from um, the investing public. I think on a miss like this, it's not. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's probably ultimately healthy for him. But I guarantee you, there's something else going on up there with him. There's just not what you see. It
Right.
really isn't, in my opinion. So
As his own words, Elon's own words, no one would ever want to be me because the brain is always exploding.
exploding. Love it.
Obviously, I'm paraphrasing that, but it
Yeah,
was pretty close to that. Yeah,
I
poor
know.
guy.
All right.
So check out, if you didn't check out our Wednesday show where we did a strategic trade to action in the news. So if you want to act on this news and you want to bulk up your portfolios, check out that Wednesday show. It'll be down in the show notes.
Yep.
And thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Hey, Lex.
Mom. Good to see you.
And,
Have a good
last
weekend.
question: are you getting a truck? Are you getting a Cybertruck?
Well, I don't know. I'm worried about the everyday drivability of it, meaning the parking part of it. I live, in Chicagoland. I don't live in the city, but I do go there once in a while, and I can't imagine parallel parking that baby.
Doesn't it have self parking though? It
Oh,
has self parking.
okay. Well, that's good. You just have to find a space big enough for it. It's like driving. It's like driving a boat.
Right.
But it does look cool, and it does have the cool factor.
It does.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna put my gun rack on the back window.
The flag. Cool. All right, Lex.
All right, Mal. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All opinions expressed by Tradier Hub contributors are solely the contributors' opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Hub contributors as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. The contributors' opinions are based on their own personal research, but neither Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries warrants its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. Any trades or positions discussed or referred to by contributors may or may not be actual live trades or positions. Such information is not intended to be financial or investment advice. Tradier Inc. is the parent company of Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. and Tradier Inc. are separate entities with their own products and services. Securities products and services are offered through Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. is an independent subsidiary of Tradier Inc., all rights reserved, member FINRA SIPC.